Alex Carter wiped the dust from his visor, squinting through the red haze of the Martian landscape. The ancient ruin sprawled out before him, a labyrinth of crumbling walls and enigmatic symbols carved into stone. As an archaeologist and former military pilot, Alex was no stranger to the mysteries of the universe, but today felt different. Today, he was on the verge of a discovery that could change everything. His team had been excavating the site for months, driven by whispers of a powerful alien artifact buried deep within the ruins of this ancient Martian civilization. Theories abounded about what it might be: an energy source, a weapon, or perhaps a piece of technology beyond human comprehension. Alex's pulse quickened at the thought. They were close. "Dr. Carter, you might want to see this," called out Lena, one of his colleagues. Her voice crackled over the comms, tinged with excitement. Alex hurried over to where she stood, her gloved hand pointing to a partially unearthed stone slab. Intricate patterns glowed faintly on its surface, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. "Looks like we found something," Alex muttered, his heart pounding. He knelt beside the slab, brushing away the Martian dust. The symbols were unlike anything he had seen before, their complexity mesmerizing. He reached out, his fingers tingling as they grazed the stone. Suddenly, a surge of energy coursed through him, and the slab began to move. With a rumble, the ground shifted, revealing a hidden chamber beneath. Alex and Lena exchanged a glance, their curiosity piqued. They descended into the chamber, their suit lights cutting through the darkness. The air felt charged, humming with potential. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, and atop it rested the artifact. It was a small, crystalline object, pulsating with a soft, blue light. Alex approached it cautiously, his breath catching in his throat. As he reached out to touch it, the artifact responded, glowing brighter and emitting a low hum. "Do you feel that?" Lena whispered, her voice filled with awe. Alex nodded. The artifact was alive with energy, and it seemed to be communicating, though they couldn't yet understand its language. He activated his scanner, hoping to glean more information. As data streamed in, his eyes widened. The artifact's energy signature was unlike anything ever recorded, and its potential seemed limitless. "Dr. Carter, we're receiving a signal," Lena said, her eyes fixed on her wrist console. "It's a message. Encoded within the artifact." Alex's mind raced. A message? From whom? And what did it say? He quickly linked his own console to the artifact, decrypting the message. As the symbols translated into a comprehensible format, his heart skipped a beat. "To the one who finds this," the message began, "you hold in your hands the key to averting an intergalactic catastrophe. Our civilization has perished, but our knowledge endures. Seek out the ancient ones. They will guide you." The message was brief but powerful, and it left Alex with more questions than answers. Who were the ancient ones? What catastrophe were they talking about? And why had they left this message here, on Mars? Before he could ponder further, the ground trembled. A deep, resonant sound echoed through the chamber, growing louder by the second. Alex's instincts kicked in. "Everyone out, now!" he shouted. They scrambled up the steps, the chamber collapsing behind them. Dust filled the air, and the ruins seemed to groan as if waking from a long slumber. Once outside, Alex glanced back at the ruins, now partially buried again. He clutched the artifact tightly, feeling its energy pulsing through him. This was just the beginning, he realized. The artifact had chosen him for a reason, and it was up to him to uncover the truth. As the dust settled, Alex's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The discovery of the artifact had set him on a path he never could have imagined. He didn't yet know where it would lead, but one thing was certain: his life was about to change forever. In the vast silence of Mars, Alex Carter stood on the precipice of a journey that would take him to the farthest reaches of the galaxy and into the depths of his own soul. The hidden relic had awakened, and with it, a destiny that awaited fulfillment. Alex sat in his quarters, the artifact placed carefully on the table before him. The strange, pulsating light it emitted cast an eerie glow, filling the room with a sense of mystery and unease. The message encoded within it echoed in his mind, a cryptic call to action that seemed both urgent and incomprehensible. To the one who finds this, you hold in your hands the key to averting an intergalactic catastrophe. Our civilization has perished, but our knowledge endures. Seek out the ancient ones. They will guide you. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was something far beyond his understanding. What kind of catastrophe were they talking about? And who were these ancient ones? His fingers drummed absently on the table as he pondered the implications. A soft chime interrupted his thoughts. It was Lena. She entered, her face lit with excitement and concern. "Alex, I think you should see this," she said, handing him a tablet. On the screen was a detailed analysis of the artifact's energy readings. The data was unlike anything they had ever encountered. "This energy signature is off the charts," Lena explained. "It's as if the artifact is tapping into a power source we can't even begin to comprehend. And it's not just the energy. Look at this." She swiped the screen, revealing an overlay of ancient star maps and current galactic charts. The coordinates embedded in the message point to a location outside our known galaxy. This could be the home of the ancient ones mentioned in the message. Alex stared at the screen, a mix of excitement and dread washing over him. "So, it's real," he murmured. "All of it." Lena nodded. And if the message is to be believed, we have to find these ancient ones. They might be the only ones who can help us understand this artifact and the catastrophe it's supposed to prevent." As Alex processed the information, a notification pinged on his console. It was a high-priority message from the Earth Council. His superiors had been monitoring his findings closely, and they were skeptical. "Dr. Carter, we've reviewed your latest report," the message began, the voice cold and dismissive. "While the artifact is certainly an intriguing find, there's no evidence to support the claim of an impending catastrophe. We advise you to focus on more immediate, tangible research objectives. Further pursuit of this matter will not be supported by the Council." Alex's jaw clenched in frustration. He knew what he had found was significant, but without support, his options were limited. He looked at Lena, who shared his disappointment. "They don't believe us," she said, her voice tinged with bitterness. "They think it's just another relic." Alex took a deep breath, determination hardening his resolve. "Then we'll have to do this on our own," he declared. "We need to follow these coordinates, find the ancient ones, and uncover the truth. If the Council won't back us, we'll go rogue." Lena smiled, her eyes gleaming with the same determination. "I'm with you, Alex. Let's do this." Over the next few days, they worked tirelessly to prepare for the journey. Alex pulled favors from old contacts, acquiring a small, but capable spacecraft equipped for long-distance travel. Lena gathered supplies and made the necessary modifications to their equipment to handle the unknown environment they were about to encounter. On the day of departure, Alex stood on the deck of their ship, gazing out at the Martian horizon. The red landscape stretched out before him, a reminder of how far humanity had come and how much farther they had yet to go. "We're ready," Lena said, joining him. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of their mission settle on his shoulders. "Let's go find the ancient ones," he said. As the ship lifted off, Alex felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. They were venturing into the unknown, guided only by a cryptic message and a shared sense of purpose. The journey ahead was fraught with danger, but it was a path they had chosen willingly. The vast expanse of space opened up before them, a sea of stars and endless possibilities. Alex set the coordinates, and with a final glance at the Martian surface, he engaged the engines. The ship surged forward, leaving the familiar behind and diving into the great unknown. The artifact's glow seemed to intensify as they traveled, a beacon guiding them toward their destiny. The echoes of the ancient prophecy lingered in Alex's mind, a constant reminder of the stakes and the hope that lay in uncovering the truth. As the stars blurred into streaks of light around them, Alex felt a sense of clarity and resolve. The path ahead was uncertain, but he knew they were on the right track. The ancient ones awaited, and with them, the answers they sought. The journey through space was silent, but Alex's mind was anything but. As the ship sped towards the coordinates provided by the artifact, doubts began to creep in. He stared at the streaks of stars through the cockpit window, the vastness of space only amplifying his uncertainty. What if the message was wrong? What if this was a wild goose chase, leading them to their deaths? Lena's voice broke through his thoughts. We're approaching the first waypoint. Shouldn't be long now. Alex nodded, forcing a smile. Good. How's the artifact? Lena glanced at the crystalline object, still glowing with that eerie blue light. It's stable. I've been monitoring it closely. No signs of any fluctuations. Great, Alex replied, but his voice lacked conviction. He turned back to the window, his reflection a ghostly image overlaid with the stars. Alex, Lena said gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. I know you're worried. But we have to trust in what we've found. This artifact chose us for a reason. Alex sighed. I know, Lena. But what if we're wrong? What if we're chasing a fantasy? Lena's eyes were firm. Then we'll find out together. But I believe in this. And I believe in you. Her words were a balm to his troubled mind. He nodded, feeling a bit of his resolve return. Thanks, Lena. As they approached the coordinates, the ship sensors picked up something unusual. Alex, I'm getting a reading, Lena said, her voice tense with excitement. It looks like a structure. Or a ship. It's huge. Alex leaned over to look at the readout. Sure enough, a massive object was floating in the void ahead of them. It looked ancient, with a design that was both alien and oddly familiar. Bring us in closer, he instructed. As they approached, the details of the structure became clearer. It was a massive space station, seemingly abandoned. Its surfaces were covered in strange, glowing runes similar to those on the artifact. This must be it, Alex said, his excitement growing. The home of the Ancient Ones. Lena nodded, her eyes wide with wonder. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. They docked the ship and prepared to board the station. Alex felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation as they donned their helmets and activated their suits. Stay close, he told Lena. We don't know what we'll find in there. The airlock hissed open, and they stepped into the dark, cavernous interior of the station. The walls were lined with more glowing runes, casting an eerie light. It feels like a tomb, Lena whispered. Alex agreed. The air was thick with the weight of ages, and every step echoed ominously. They moved deeper into the station, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. As they explored, they found signs of long-abandoned activity. Consoles covered in dust, tools left where they had fallen, and the skeletal remains of the Ancient Ones. These beings were huge, Lena observed, studying one of the skeletons. Much larger than us. Yeah, Alex said, his voice hushed. But look at their tools and consoles. They're designed for hands like ours. It's almost as if they were expecting us, Lena finished, her eyes wide with realization. Or beings like us. They continued their exploration, eventually coming to a massive chamber at the heart of the station. In the center stood a pedestal, and on it, another artifact, larger and more intricate than the one they had found on Mars. It pulsed with a powerful energy, filling the room with light. This must be the source, Alex said, approaching the pedestal. The core of their technology. Lena was about to reply when a sudden tremor shook the station. The ground beneath their feet rumbled, and dust fell from the ceiling. What was that? She asked, her voice tinged with fear. Alex's heart raced. We need to hurry. Whatever it is, we're running out of time. He reached for the artifact, but as he did, a holographic image flickered to life before them. It was an ancient one, its features regal and imposing. The figure spoke in a language they couldn't understand, but the artifact in Alex's hand translated the message. To those who find this, know that you are our last hope. Our civilization has fallen, but our knowledge endures. Use this technology wisely, for it holds the key to preventing the same fate from befalling your own kind. Beware, for there are those who would use it for destruction rather than salvation. The message ended, and the hologram vanished. Alex and Lena exchanged a glance, their determination renewed. We have to get this back to Earth, Alex said. It's our only chance. As they made their way back to the ship, the tremors grew stronger. The station was beginning to collapse. Hurry! Alex shouted, urging Lena forward. They reached the airlock just as a massive quake shook the station. They barely made it inside before the corridor behind them crumbled into dust. The ship undocked and sped away from the collapsing station. Alex watched as the massive structure disintegrated, a bittersweet sense of loss washing over him. They had found what they were looking for, but at great cost. As they set course for Earth, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The artifact was powerful, but it was also dangerous. They would need to protect it from those who sought to use it for their own ends. Lena, he said, breaking the silence. We need to be careful. There are others out there who know about this. And they won't stop until they get it. Lena nodded, her expression serious. We'll be ready, Alex. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. Alex smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The shadows of doubt were still there, but now they were tempered with hope. They had a mission, and together, they would see it through. As the spacecraft glided silently through the dark void, Alex felt a growing sense of anticipation. The journey back to Earth was long, and every moment was filled with both hope and anxiety. The artifact, now securely placed in a containment field, continued to glow with an enigmatic blue light. It seemed almost alive, pulsing with a rhythm that hinted at intelligence and purpose. Lena had been busy analyzing the data they had collected from the alien space station. The holographic message from the ancient being echoed in her mind, urging them to use the knowledge wisely. She couldn't shake the feeling that their every move was being guided by unseen forces. Alex, she called out, breaking the silence that had settled between them, I've been going over the data again. There's something I think you should see. Alex moved to join her at the console. The screen displayed intricate symbols and patterns, remnants of the alien language that had been translated by the artifact. Lena pointed to a series of coordinates. These coordinates are different from the ones that led us to the space station. I believe they point to another location, possibly the home of the Ancient Ones. Alex's brow furrowed in thought. Another location? But we barely escaped the last one. What if it's just as dangerous? Lena shook her head. I don't think so. The energy readings from these coordinates are different, more stable. It could be a safe haven, a place where we can learn more about the artifact and how to use it. Alex pondered her words. They had come this far, and the stakes were too high to ignore any potential leads. Set the new coordinates, he decided. We need to follow every clue if we're going to prevent this catastrophe. The ship altered its course, and they continued their journey. As they approached the new coordinates, an unknown planet came into view. It was lush and green, a stark contrast to the barren landscapes they had encountered so far. Alex and Lena exchanged hopeful glances. Prepare for landing, Alex instructed. The ship descended through the planet's atmosphere, settling gently on the surface. The landscape around them was breathtaking, filled with vibrant flora and fauna that seemed almost otherworldly. They stepped out of the spacecraft, their senses overwhelmed by the beauty and tranquility of their surroundings. "It's like paradise," Lena whispered, awestruck. "Let's not get too comfortable," Alex cautioned. "We still don't know what we're dealing with here." As they ventured further, they came across a small, secluded temple. Its architecture was reminiscent of the alien space station, but it was in pristine condition. The runes etched into its walls glowed softly, inviting them inside. They entered the temple cautiously. The air was filled with a sense of calm and reverence. In the center of the main chamber, they found a figure seated on a stone platform. It was an alien, but unlike the skeletal remains they had seen before, this being was very much alive. Its eyes glowed with wisdom and kindness. "Welcome, travelers," the alien sage spoke, its voice resonating in their minds. "I am Tlar, the last guardian of this ancient knowledge." Alex and Lena were taken aback by the presence of this living being. "We're here to learn," Alex said, his voice steady despite the awe he felt. "We found an artifact, and it led us here." Tlar nodded, his expression serene. "You have done well to find us. The artifact you carry is one of great power, and it holds the key to averting the disaster that threatens your world." Lena stepped forward, her curiosity piqued. "Can you teach us how to use it?" Tlar smiled gently. "Yes, but first, you must understand its history. Long ago, our civilization faced a similar catastrophe. We created the artifacts to preserve our knowledge and guide future generations. The energy within them is both a gift and a responsibility." As Tlar spoke, images began to form in Alex and Lena's minds, visions of a once great civilization that had harnessed incredible power. They saw the rise and fall of the ancient ones, their triumphs and their mistakes. "Our downfall came from within," Tlar continued. "We became too ambitious, too careless. The artifacts are meant to guide you, to ensure that you do not repeat our errors." Alex felt a deep sense of responsibility settling over him. "How do we prevent the catastrophe?" Tlar's eyes glowed brighter. "You must use the artifact to stabilize the energy fields that are causing the disturbances. It will require great skill and unity among your people. But know this, there are those who will seek to use the artifact for their own gain. You must protect it at all costs." Lena looked determined. "We'll do whatever it takes." Tlar extended a hand, and the artifact in Alex's containment field responded, its glow intensifying. "I will guide you in its use," the sage said. "Together, we will ensure that your world does not suffer the same fate as ours." For the next few days, Tlar instructed them in the use of the artifact. They learned to harness its energy, to control its power with precision and care. The bond between Alex, Lena, and Tlar grew stronger, a unity forged through shared purpose and determination. As their training neared completion, Tlar gave them a final piece of advice. "Remember, the greatest power lies not in the artifact, but in your will to protect and preserve. Trust in yourselves and in each other." With newfound knowledge and a sense of purpose, Alex and Lena prepared to return to Earth. The journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were ready. The artifact was their key to preventing disaster, and with Tlar's guidance, they had the means to succeed. As they bid farewell to the alien sage, Tlar's parting words echoed in their minds. "Go forth, and may your strength and wisdom light the way." The ship lifted off, leaving the serene planet behind. As they traveled back to Earth, Alex and Lena felt a renewed sense of hope. They were not alone in this fight, and with the knowledge they had gained, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The artifact pulsed gently in its containment field, a silent reminder of the power and responsibility they now carried. The path was clear, and their mission was far from over. But together, they would overcome any obstacle and ensure a future for their world. The journey back to Earth was fraught with anticipation and anxiety. The knowledge they had gained from Tlar weighed heavily on Alex and Lena's minds. They were not just returning home. They were bringing with them the hope of preventing a catastrophe that could spell the end of their civilization. As the spacecraft hurtled through the void, Alex couldn't help but replay Tlar's words in his mind. The ancient sage had imparted wisdom that transcended time, warning them of the dual nature of the artifact's power. It could be a tool for salvation, but in the wrong hands, it could also bring about unimaginable destruction. Lena was deep in thought, her fingers dancing over the controls as she analyzed the artifact's energy signatures. The glowing blue light pulsed steadily, a constant reminder of the responsibility they now bore. "Alex, I've been going over the data." Lena broke the silence. "The artifact's energy is incredibly stable, but we need to be cautious. Any misstep could have catastrophic consequences." Alex nodded, his gaze fixed on the artifact. "We need to ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. The Council must understand the gravity of this situation." As they neared Earth, a message came through on their console. It was from the Earth Council, their tone markedly different from before. "Dr. Carter, Dr. Alvarez, we have received your preliminary reports. Your findings have caused great concern here on Earth. We are preparing for your arrival. Please proceed with caution." Alex and Lena exchanged a look. The Council's newfound urgency was both reassuring and alarming. "We're almost home," Alex said, adjusting their course for the landing. The descent through Earth's atmosphere was smooth, and soon they found themselves landing at a secure facility, far from the public eye. Security was tight, and as they disembarked, they were greeted by a team of scientists and military personnel. "Dr. Carter, Dr. Alvarez, welcome back," a stern-looking man stepped forward. "I'm General Harris. We've been briefed on your mission. Please, follow us." They were escorted to a secure lab, where they would present their findings. The artifact was placed in a heavily shielded containment unit, its glow subdued but ever-present. In the briefing room, Alex and Lena detailed their journey, the discovery of the alien space station, their encounter with Tlar, and the instructions they had received. The council members listened intently, their faces grave. "This artifact," one of the scientists began. "Do you fully understand how to use it?" Lena spoke up. "We've been trained by Tlar, the last guardian of the Ancient Ones. We know how to harness its power, but it's crucial that we follow the instructions exactly. Any deviation could be disastrous." General Harris leaned forward. "And what of the threat you mentioned? Those who would use this artifact for their own gain?" Alex sighed. "We don't know who they are, but we must assume they are already aware of the artifact's existence. Our priority must be to secure it and prevent any unauthorized access." The council deliberated for what felt like hours. Finally, they reached a decision. "Dr. Carter, Dr. Alvarez," General Harris said, "you will continue your research here, under the strictest security. The artifact will be guarded at all times. We will also begin preparations to mitigate any potential threats. Your work has just begun." As Alex and Lena were escorted to their new lab, the weight of their mission settled over them. The facility was state-of-the-art, equipped with everything they would need to continue their research. But the sense of urgency was palpable. "We're in uncharted territory," Lena said quietly as they unpacked their equipment, "but we're not alone. We have the knowledge, and now we have the support." Alex nodded. "We'll do whatever it takes. For our world, and for the future." Days turned into weeks as they worked tirelessly, deciphering the artifact's secrets and developing strategies to stabilize the energy fields that threatened Earth. The Council provided all the resources they needed, and their team grew with the addition of other experts in various fields. Despite the intense pressure, there were moments of hope and camaraderie. Alex and Lena found themselves growing closer, their shared purpose forging a bond that transcended their mission. They were no longer just colleagues, they were partners in the truest sense. One evening, as they took a rare break, Alex looked out over the facility, the lights twinkling like stars in the night. "Do you think we'll succeed?" he asked, his voice tinged with both hope and fear. Lena joined him, her hand resting on his arm. "We have to," she said simply. "We've come too far to fail now." Their resolve was unwavering. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, guided by the wisdom of the Ancient Ones and their own unyielding determination. As they returned to their work, the artifact pulsed gently, a silent beacon of the potential for both creation and destruction. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but it was also illuminated by the possibility of a brighter future. And so, Alex and Lena pressed on, their journey far from over, but their hearts steadfast in their mission to save their world. The days at the secure facility passed in a blur of intense research and constant vigilance. Alex and Lena, along with their growing team, worked tirelessly to unlock the artifact's secrets and develop a strategy to prevent the impending catastrophe. The air was thick with tension and purpose, each discovery bringing them closer to understanding the artifact's potential and the risks it carried. One evening, as Alex reviewed the latest data, a sense of unease settled over him. The artifact's energy readings were stable, but something felt off. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. "Lena, have you noticed anything unusual about the artifact's readings lately?" he asked, glancing over at her. Lena looked up from her console, her brow furrowed. "No, everything seems normal." "Why?" Alex hesitated. "I don't know. I just have a feeling that we're overlooking something. Maybe we should run another diagnostic, just to be sure." Lena nodded, trusting his instincts. "I'll get on it right away." As they initiated the diagnostic, the facility's security alarms suddenly blared to life. Red lights flashed, and a voice echoed through the intercom. "Security breach detected. All personnel to lockdown stations immediately." Alex and Lena exchanged a look of alarm. Grabbing their gear, they hurried to the control room where General Harris and his team were already assessing the situation. "What's happening?" Alex demanded. General Harris's face was grim. "We've detected an intruder within the facility. It appears someone managed to bypass our security systems." Lena's eyes widened. "Could it be the ones who are after the artifact?" Harris nodded. "It's highly likely. We need to secure the artifact and ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands." As the facility went into lockdown, Alex and Lena joined the security team, making their way to the lab where the artifact was stored. The corridors were eerily silent, the tension palpable. When they reached the lab, they found the door ajar. Alex's heart raced as they cautiously entered, their flashlights cutting through the dim light. The containment unit was still intact, but there were signs of a struggle. "Stay alert," Alex whispered. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, dressed in advanced combat gear. The intruder moved with precision, heading straight for the artifact. "Stop right there," Harris shouted, raising his weapon. The intruder turned, their face obscured by a mask. Without hesitation, they launched an attack, forcing the team to take cover. The room erupted into chaos as shots were fired, and Alex and Lena found themselves in the midst of a fierce battle. Amid the commotion, Alex saw the intruder make a move for the containment unit. Desperate to protect the artifact, he sprang into action, tackling the intruder to the ground. They grappled fiercely, the artifact's glow intensifying as if reacting to the conflict. "Lena, get the artifact to safety," Alex shouted. Lena rushed to the containment unit, her hands trembling as she secured the artifact. The intruder broke free from Alex's grip, turning their attention to Lena. "Over my dead body," Alex growled, throwing himself between the intruder and Lena. Just as the intruder raised their weapon, Harris and his team overwhelmed them, finally subduing the threat. The intruder was unmasked, revealing a cold, determined face. "Who sent you?" Harris demanded, but the intruder remained silent, their eyes burning with defiance. As the intruder was taken away, Alex and Lena exchanged a relieved but wary look. The artifact was safe for now, but the breach had shaken them. They couldn't afford to let their guard down again. "We need to find out who they are and what they know," Alex said, his voice steely. "And why they're so desperate to get their hands on the artifact," Lena added. General Harris nodded. "Leave that to us. You focus on your research. We'll ensure the facility is secure." As they resumed their work, the atmosphere was charged with a new urgency. The attack had confirmed their fears. There were indeed others who knew about the artifact and its power. Late that night, as Alex and Lena reviewed the data from the diagnostic, they made a startling discovery. There was an energy signature embedded within the artifact, a signal that seemed to be transmitting information. "This can't be a coincidence," Lena said, her eyes wide with realization. "The signal must be what's drawing them here." Alex's mind raced. "We need to trace it, find out where it's coming from and what it's transmitting." Working together, they managed to isolate the signal and trace its origin. To their surprise, it was coming from deep within the Earth's crust, a place that had long been considered dormant and uninhabited. What could be down there? Lena wondered aloud. Alex's expression was grave. "I don't know, but we need to find out. This could be the key to understanding the artifact and stopping the catastrophe." As they prepared for their next mission, the weight of their discovery hung heavy over them. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but they knew they had to press on. The fate of their world depended on it. With renewed determination, they set their course for the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The artifact's glow pulsed steadily, a beacon of hope and power that would guide them through the darkness. The facility was a hive of activity as preparations for the new mission intensified. The discovery of the signal emanating from deep within the Earth's crust had given Alex and Lena a new lead, but it also raised more questions. What lay beneath the surface, and how was it connected to the artifact? As they geared up for the journey, General Harris briefed them on the logistics. "You'll be descending to an area we've designated as Site Delta," he explained. "It's remote and largely unexplored. We've set up a base camp and deployed a team to assist you." Alex nodded, adjusting his equipment. "Understood. We'll proceed with caution." Lena was equally focused, her mind racing with the possibilities. They boarded a transport vehicle designed for deep Earth exploration, its reinforced hull and advanced sensors a testament to the mission's importance. The journey to Site Delta was uneventful, the landscape gradually shifting from urban sprawl to rugged wilderness. As they approached the site, the ground opened up into a vast, cavernous expanse. The base camp was a hub of activity, with scientists and engineers bustling about. "Welcome to Site Delta," a young scientist greeted them. "I'm Dr. Chen, the lead geologist here. We've been monitoring the signal and preparing for your arrival." Alex shook her hand. "Good to meet you, Dr. Chen. What can you tell us about the signal?" Dr. Chen led them to a command center, where a large display showed the subterranean topography. "The signal is originating from here." She pointed to a location deep within the Earth. "We've never seen anything like it. The energy readings are off the charts." Lena leaned in, studying the display. "We'll need to descend further to get a closer look. How soon can we get started?" Dr. Chen smiled. "We're ready when you are." The team descended into the depths, the transport vehicle navigating the treacherous terrain with ease. The walls of the cavern glowed faintly with bioluminescent organisms, casting an eerie light. As they went deeper, the signal grew stronger, the artifact in Lena's hand reacting with a soft, pulsing glow. "We're getting close," Lena said, her voice filled with anticipation. The vehicle came to a halt in a massive underground chamber. The air was thick with moisture, and strange, luminescent plants covered the ground. In the center of the chamber stood an ancient structure, its architecture reminiscent of the alien space station they had discovered on Mars. "This is incredible," Alex breathed, stepping out of the vehicle. "It's like an alien world beneath our feet." As they approached the structure, the artifact's glow intensified. The door to the structure opened with a soft hiss, revealing a dimly lit interior. They entered cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Inside, they found a room filled with advanced technology, the walls covered in the same glowing runes they had seen before. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, similar to the one on Mars, but this one was surrounded by a complex array of devices. "This must be the source of the signal," Lena said, approaching the pedestal. As she placed the artifact on the pedestal, the room came to life. The devices activated, projecting holographic images of the Ancient Ones. One of the holograms stepped forward, its eyes glowing with intelligence. "Welcome, travelers," it spoke. "You have reached the heart of our world. The artifact you carry is the key to unlocking our legacy." Alex and Lena exchanged a glance, their hearts pounding with excitement. "What is this place?" Alex asked. The hologram gestured to the devices around them. "This is our repository of knowledge, a place where we preserved our history and our wisdom. The artifact is both a beacon and a key, guiding those who are worthy to our most sacred site." Lena's eyes widened. "Can you help us prevent the catastrophe?" The hologram nodded. "Yes. But first, you must understand the full extent of the power you hold. The artifact can stabilize the energy fields, but it must be used correctly. We will guide you." For the next several hours, the holograms instructed them in the use of the artifact, revealing techniques and knowledge that had been lost to time. Alex and Lena absorbed the information, their confidence growing with each passing moment. As they prepared to leave, the hologram gave them a final warning. "Beware the shadow within. There are those who will seek to use the artifact for their own purposes. Trust in each other, and you will prevail." With the artifact safely in their possession, they made their way back to the surface. The journey had been enlightening, but it also left them with a sense of urgency. They now had the knowledge they needed, but they also understood the gravity of their mission. As they ascended, Alex turned to Lena. "We're getting closer. I can feel it." Lena nodded. "We have what we need. Now we just have to use it wisely." The transport vehicle emerged into the light of day, the base camp bustling with activity. They were greeted with cheers and applause, their team eager to hear about their discoveries. General Harris approached, his expression one of relief and determination. "Welcome back. What did you find?" Alex held up the artifact, its glow a symbol of their progress. "We found the heart of their world, and we have the knowledge we need to prevent the catastrophe. But we also have to be vigilant. There are those who will try to stop us." Harris nodded. "Then we move forward with caution. We have the support of the Council and the resources we need. Let's get to work." As they settled back into their research, the weight of their mission pressed heavily on their shoulders. The artifact was their key to saving the world, but it was also a target. They would need to stay one step ahead of those who sought to use it for their own ends. But they were not alone. With the knowledge of the Ancient Ones and the support of their team, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The path was uncertain, but their resolve was unwavering. Together, they would unlock the secrets of the artifact and protect their world from the impending catastrophe. The journey was far from over, but they were prepared to see it through to the end. The team's return from Site Delta brought with it a sense of renewed urgency and purpose. Armed with the knowledge imparted by the Ancient Ones, Alex and Lena knew they were closer than ever to understanding the artifact's full potential. Yet, the warning from the hologram about the shadow within loomed large in their minds. Back at the secure facility, preparations were underway for a series of tests designed to harness the artifact's energy to stabilize the Earth's energy fields. The entire facility was a hive of activity, with scientists and engineers working around the clock. As Alex and Lena reviewed the final test protocols, General Harris entered the room, his expression one of grave determination. "We've received intelligence that a faction known as the Shadow Collective is actively seeking the artifact. They're well-funded and highly skilled. We need to move quickly." Lena frowned. "How much time do we have?" Harris shook his head. "Not much. They could strike at any moment. We need to conduct these tests and ensure the artifact is secure." The team gathered in the main lab, the artifact placed at the center of a sophisticated array of monitoring equipment. Alex took a deep breath, his mind racing with the weight of their mission. "All systems are online. Let's begin." As the tests commenced, the artifact's glow intensified, its energy readings spiking. The room was filled with a hum of power, the air crackling with tension. Lena monitored the data, her eyes fixed on the screens. So far, so good. The artifact is stabilizing the energy fields. Suddenly, the facility's alarms blared, red lights flashing urgently. General Harris's voice came over the intercom. "We have a breach. The Shadow Collective is here." The team exchanged frantic looks. Alex quickly secured the artifact, placing it in a portable containment unit. "We need to protect the artifact at all costs." "Lena, stay with me." They moved swiftly through the facility, the sounds of gunfire and explosions echoing in the halls. Security personnel engaged in fierce combat with the intruders, the situation rapidly descending into chaos. As they reached a secure corridor, Alex and Lena were confronted by a group of heavily armed operatives. The leader of the group, a tall figure with piercing eyes, stepped forward. "Hand over the artifact, and no one gets hurt." Alex tightened his grip on the containment unit. "Over my dead body." The leader smirked. "That can be arranged." A brutal fight ensued, Alex and Lena fighting desperately to protect the artifact. Despite their best efforts, they were outnumbered and outgunned. Just as it seemed they would be overwhelmed, General Harris and his team arrived, engaging the Shadow Collective operatives with precision and determination. In the chaos, the leader of the Shadow Collective managed to grab the containment unit, but Lena tackled him to the ground, wresting the artifact from his grasp. With a final, desperate push, Alex and Lena secured the artifact and made their way to the evacuation point. "We need to get out of here," Harris urged, covering their retreat. They reached the evacuation point, boarding a transport vehicle that sped away from the embattled facility. As they escaped, Alex and Lena looked back, the facility now a war zone. "This isn't over," Alex said, his voice filled with resolve. "We need to regroup and find a way to stop them for good." Lena nodded, her expression steely. "We will. But first, we need to understand the artifact completely. There's something we're still missing." The transport vehicle took them to a secondary location, a hidden research outpost far from prying eyes. As they settled in, Alex and Lena reviewed the data they had collected during the tests. The artifact's energy readings were stable, but there was an underlying pattern they hadn't noticed before. "Look at this," Lena pointed to the screen. "The energy fluctuations follow a specific rhythm. It's almost like a code." Alex's eyes widened. "If we can decipher it, we might unlock the artifact's full potential." They worked tirelessly, decoding the energy patterns and uncovering hidden layers of information within the artifact. As they delved deeper, they realized the artifact contained a detailed map of energy fields around the Earth, highlighting points of instability. "This is it," Alex said, his voice filled with excitement. "We can use this information to stabilize the energy fields and prevent the catastrophe." Lena smiled, her eyes shining with hope. "We need to act fast. The Shadow Collective won't stop until they get what they want." With the newfound data, they developed a plan to deploy a series of energy stabilizers at key locations around the globe. The task was monumental, but with the support of the Council and their team, they knew it was possible. As they prepared for the next phase of their mission, Alex and Lena took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. The challenges they had faced had only strengthened their resolve and deepened their bond. "We're in this together," Alex said, taking Lena's hand. "No matter what happens." Lena squeezed his hand, her expression determined. Together. Always. With their path set and their hearts united, they embarked on the next leg of their journey, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The artifact's glow was a beacon of hope and power, guiding them toward a future they were determined to protect. The hidden research outpost was a flurry of activity as Alex, Lena, and their team worked tirelessly to finalize their plan. The data they had decoded from the artifact provided a roadmap for deploying energy stabilizers at key points around the globe. This was their best chance to avert the looming catastrophe. General Harris coordinated with the Council and military forces to ensure that the stabilizers would be deployed without interference. The threat from the Shadow Collective loomed large, but the security measures were tighter than ever. "We're ready to go," Lena said, her voice filled with determination. "The stabilizers are prepped, and the deployment teams are in position." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of their mission. "Let's do this. The future of our world depends on it." The team split into multiple groups, each heading to a different location around the globe. Alex and Lena led the primary team, tasked with deploying the first stabilizer at a critical energy nexus deep in the Amazon rainforest. As their transport flew over the dense jungle, Alex reviewed their plan one last time. "We'll need to move quickly and stay alert. The Shadow Collective could strike at any moment." Lena adjusted her gear, her expression resolute. "We're ready. We won't let them stop us." They landed in a clearing, the sounds of the rainforest surrounding them. The team moved swiftly, setting up the stabilizer and initiating the activation sequence. The device hummed to life, its energy field resonating with the artifact's glow. "Stabilizer 1 is online," Lena reported, moving to the next location. The process repeated at each site, the team working with precision and urgency. Despite the constant threat of attack, they managed to deploy stabilizers in the Himalayas, the Sahara Desert, and deep beneath the ocean. As they reached the final location, a remote island in the Pacific, Alex felt a surge of hope. They were close to completing their mission. "This is it," he said, his voice filled with determination. "Let's finish this." The team set up the last stabilizer, the artifact's glow intensifying as it synchronized with the energy fields. Just as they initiated the final sequence, the air was filled with the sound of approaching helicopters. "Incoming!" Lena shouted. "It's the Shadow Collective." Heavily armed operatives descended on their position, weapons drawn. Alex and Lena fought desperately to protect the stabilizer, their team engaged in fierce combat. Despite being outnumbered, their resolve never wavered. "Keep them away from the stabilizer," Alex yelled, fending off an attacker. Lena secured the artifact, using its energy to enhance the stabilizer's protective field. "We can't let them stop us now." The battle raged on, the stakes higher than ever. Just as it seemed they might be overwhelmed, reinforcements arrived. General Harris and his team parachuted in, turning the tide of the fight. With renewed vigor, Alex and Lena pressed forward, pushing back the Shadow Collective operatives. The stabilizer's energy field grew stronger, resonating with the other devices around the globe. "We're almost there," Lena shouted, her voice filled with hope. As the last of the Shadow Collective retreated, the stabilizer reached full power. The artifact pulsed with a brilliant blue light, its energy harmonizing with the stabilizers to stabilize the Earth's energy fields. "We did it," Alex said, his voice filled with awe. "The energy fields are stabilizing." The team watched in amazement as the energy fields around the planet resonated in perfect harmony. The immediate threat of catastrophe was averted, and a sense of relief washed over them. "This is just the beginning," Lena said, her eyes shining with determination. "We've won this battle, but we need to stay vigilant." General Harris approached, his expression one of respect and gratitude. "You've done an incredible job. The world owes you a debt of gratitude." Alex shook his head. This was a team effort. We couldn't have done it without everyone's dedication and courage. As they prepared to return to the research outpost, the artifact's glow softened, its energy stable and contained. The mission had been a success, but they knew the fight was far from over. "We need to continue our research," Lena said. "There's still so much we don't know about the artifact and its potential." Alex agreed. "And we need to ensure that it never falls into the wrong hands again." As they flew back to the outpost, a sense of triumph filled the air. They had faced immense challenges and emerged victorious. But the journey was not yet complete. With the artifact secure and the stabilizers in place, they turned their attention to the future. The path ahead would be filled with new discoveries and challenges, but they were ready to face them together. Their bond, forged in the crucible of adversity, was stronger than ever. And with the knowledge and strength they had gained, they were determined to protect their world and ensure a brighter future for all. The victory in the Amazon was a significant step, but the road ahead remained uncertain. The artifact was secure, and the stabilizers were operational, but the Shadow Collective was far from defeated. Their relentless pursuit of the artifact's power meant that Alex, Lena, and their team had to remain vigilant. Back at the hidden research outpost, the team regrouped to assess their next moves. The data from the stabilizers indicated that the Earth's energy fields were stabilizing, but there were still fluctuations that needed to be addressed. "We've bought ourselves some time," Lena said, studying the latest readings, "but we need to ensure long-term stability." Alex nodded, his mind already working on potential solutions. "We need to find a way to enhance the stabilizer's effectiveness. The artifact's energy is powerful, but we need to harness it more efficiently." As they brainstormed, an unexpected message came through on a secure channel. It was from a source they hadn't anticipated, a defector from the Shadow Collective. "This is Dr. Ilara Voss," the message began. "I have information that could help you. Meet me at the coordinates attached. Come alone." The room fell silent as they processed the message. It could be a trap, but it could also be the breakthrough they needed. "We can't ignore this," Alex said. "If Dr. Voss has information that can help us, we need to hear her out." General Harris was skeptical. "It could be a setup. We need to proceed with extreme caution." Lena nodded in agreement. "We'll go, but we'll take precautions. If this is a trap, we'll be ready." The coordinates led them to an abandoned facility on the outskirts of a desolate desert. The location was remote, the perfect place for a clandestine meeting. As they approached, their senses were on high alert, scanning for any signs of danger. The facility was eerily quiet, the wind howling through the empty corridors. They made their way to the designated meeting point, their weapons ready. "Stay sharp," Alex whispered. "We don't know what we're walking into." A figure emerged from the shadows, hands raised in a gesture of peace. Dr. Ilara Voss was a tall, imposing woman with piercing eyes that seemed to hold a wealth of knowledge and secrets. "I'm here to help," she said, her voice steady. "The Shadow Collective has gone too far. They're willing to destroy everything for the artifact's power." Lena lowered her weapon slightly. "Why should we trust you?" Dr. Voss met her gaze. "Because I know how to stop them. I've seen their plans, and I know their weaknesses." Alex stepped forward. "We're listening." Dr. Voss led them to a makeshift command center, where she outlined the Shadow Collective's operations. She revealed their primary base of operations, hidden deep within a mountain range, heavily fortified and protected by advanced technology. "They're planning a full-scale assault to reclaim the artifact," she explained, "but their defenses have a vulnerability. If we can infiltrate their base and disable their systems, we can stop them for good." The plan was risky, but it was their best shot at ending the threat once and for all. They spent hours strategizing, preparing for the mission that would take them into the heart of enemy territory. As night fell, they made their way to the mountain range. The terrain was treacherous, but they moved with precision and determination. Dr. Voss guided them through hidden pathways, avoiding detection by the Shadow Collective's patrols. They reached the entrance to the base, a heavily guarded facility carved into the mountainside. Using the element of surprise, they launched a coordinated attack, breaching the defenses and making their way inside. The corridors were a labyrinth of steel and concrete, filled with the hum of advanced machinery. They moved swiftly, neutralizing guards and disabling security systems. Dr. Voss led them to the control center, where they confronted the Shadow Collective's leadership. A fierce battle ensued, the air thick with tension and the sound of gunfire. Alex and Lena fought side by side, their bond and determination driving them forward. Dr. Voss worked to disable the base's systems, her expertise proving invaluable. As they closed in on victory, the leader of the Shadow Collective, a ruthless figure named Orion, confronted them. "You're too late," he sneered, "the artifact's power will be ours." Alex stepped forward, his voice filled with resolve. "Not if we have anything to say about it." In a final, desperate struggle, they overpowered Orion and secured the control center. Dr. Voss completed her task, disabling the base's systems and rendering the Shadow Collective powerless. With the threat neutralized, they made their way back to the surface. The dawn was breaking, the first light of day casting a golden glow over the mountains. "It's over," Lena said, her voice filled with relief. "We did it." Alex nodded, a sense of triumph and exhaustion washing over him. "We stopped them, but we need to remain vigilant. There will always be those who seek to misuse the artifact's power." Dr. Voss approached, her expression one of gratitude and resolve. "Thank you for trusting me. We've taken a significant step, but the journey isn't over." As they returned to the research outpost, they were greeted with cheers and applause. The artifact was safe, and the immediate threat had been neutralized. But they knew their mission was far from complete. With renewed determination, they continued their work, their bond stronger than ever. The artifact's glow was a symbol of hope and power, guiding them toward a future they were determined to protect. Together, they faced the shadows, their hearts united in purpose. And as they pressed on, they knew that no matter the challenges ahead, they would overcome them, for their world, and for each other. The defeat of the Shadow Collective's primary base was a significant victory, but Alex, Lena, and their team knew that their mission was far from over. The artifact still held many secrets, and the fluctuations in the Earth's energy fields required constant monitoring and adjustment. Back at the research outpost, they continued their work, analyzing the data collected from the stabilizers and refining their techniques to harness the artifact's power more effectively. Dr. Voss proved to be an invaluable asset, her inside knowledge of the Shadow Collective helping them stay one step ahead of any remaining threats. One evening, as they pored over the latest readings, Lena noticed something unusual. "Alex, look at this," she pointed to the screen. "There's an anomaly in the energy fields. It's almost as if there's another source of power interfering with the stabilizers." Alex leaned in, studying the data. "It's not coming from any of our known locations. Could it be another artifact?" Dr. Voss joined them, her eyes widening in recognition. "I've seen these readings before." The Shadow Collective was searching for another artifact, one they believed was even more powerful than the one you possess. They called it the Nexus. The room fell silent as they processed this information. Another artifact, potentially more powerful, could either be a solution or a new threat. "We need to find it," Alex said, determination in his voice. "If the Nexus is out there, we can't let it fall into the wrong hands." General Harris agreed. "We'll need to act quickly and discreetly. If the Shadow Collective is aware of the Nexus, they'll stop at nothing to acquire it." Using the data they had collected, they triangulated the location of the anomaly to a remote, uncharted island in the South Pacific. The island was surrounded by treacherous waters and dense, impenetrable jungle. The journey to the island was perilous, but the team was prepared for the challenge. As their transport plane flew over the Pacific Ocean, Alex briefed the team on their mission. Our primary objective is to locate the Nexus and secure it. We'll set up a base camp on the island and proceed with caution. We don't know what we'll find, so stay alert. They parachuted onto the island under the cover of darkness, their landing precise and coordinated. The jungle was thick and humid, the sounds of wildlife echoing around them. They set up a secure perimeter and began their search for the Nexus. Dr. Voss led the way, her knowledge of the Shadow Collective's research guiding them through the dense foliage. As they trekked deeper into the jungle, the energy readings grew stronger, the artifact in Lena's hand reacting to the presence of the Nexus. "We're getting close," Lena said, her voice filled with anticipation. The team reached a clearing, where they found the entrance to an ancient temple, hidden beneath layers of vines and moss. The architecture was similar to the alien structures they had encountered before, its walls adorned with glowing runes. "This is it," Dr. Voss said, "the Nexus must be inside." They entered the temple cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with a sense of history and power, the runes illuminating their path. As they ventured deeper, they found a massive chamber at the heart of the temple. In the center of the chamber stood the Nexus, an artifact larger and more intricate than the one they possessed. It pulsed with a powerful energy, the air around it crackling with intensity. "It's incredible," Alex breathed, approaching the Nexus. "We need to secure it and analyze its properties." Just as they prepared to retrieve the Nexus, the ground shook violently. The temple began to crumble, debris falling from the ceiling. The team scrambled to protect the artifact and themselves. "We need to get out of here," Lena shouted, securing the Nexus in a containment unit. They raced through the collapsing temple, the walls closing in around them. As they reached the entrance, the ground gave way, separating Alex and Lena from the rest of the team. "Alex!" Lena screamed, her voice filled with fear. Alex reached out, his hand just inches from hers. "Go. Get the Nexus to safety. I'll find another way out." Reluctantly, Lena and the rest of the team made their way to the surface, the Nexus secured but their hearts heavy with worry. Alex navigated the collapsing temple, his mind racing with thoughts of Lena and their mission. Finally, he found an exit, emerging into the jungle just as dawn broke. He made his way back to the base camp, where he was met with cheers of relief and joy. "We thought we'd lost you," Lena said, embracing him tightly. Alex smiled, his eyes filled with determination. "I promised you we'd see this through together." With the Nexus secured, they returned to the research outpost. The artifact's power was immense, and they knew they needed to approach its study with caution and respect. "This is a game-changer," Dr. Voss said, examining the Nexus. "With this, we can ensure the stability of the energy fields and prevent any future threats." As they began their work, the team felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges ahead were daunting, but they were ready to face them together. The Nexus and the artifact were symbols of hope and power, guiding them toward a future they were determined to protect. And so, Alex, Lena, and their team pressed on, their bond stronger than ever. With each step, they moved closer to unlocking the secrets of the Ancient Ones and ensuring a brighter future for their world. The discovery and retrieval of the Nexus had marked a pivotal moment in their mission, but Alex, Lena, and their team knew that the journey was far from over. Back at the research outpost, they began the delicate process of analyzing the Nexus and integrating its energy with the existing artifact to enhance the stabilizer's effectiveness. The atmosphere was a mix of anticipation and urgency. The Earth's energy fields had shown remarkable improvement, but the threat of instability loomed large. They needed to harness the combined power of the Nexus and the artifact to secure a lasting solution. As they worked tirelessly, an alert flashed on their communication console. It was an encrypted message from a trusted informant within the Shadow Collective. They're planning a final assault. They know about the Nexus and will stop at nothing to seize it. Prepare for an imminent attack. The room fell silent as they absorbed the gravity of the situation. General Harris immediately began coordinating defenses, fortifying the outpost against the impending threat. "We need to hold them off long enough to activate the Nexus," Lena said, her voice filled with determination. "Once it's online, we can stabilize the energy fields permanently." Alex nodded, his mind racing with the weight of their mission. "We've come this far. We won't let them take it from us." As they prepared for the assault, the team worked around the clock, fine-tuning the Nexus and ensuring that the stabilizers were ready for activation. The outpost was a hive of activity, every person committed to the cause. The dawn of the day of the assault broke with an eerie calm. The outpost was fortified, and every member of the team was armed and ready. They knew the Shadow Collective would come with everything they had. The first wave hit with a ferocity that shook the ground. Heavily armed operatives stormed the perimeter, engaging in fierce combat with the outpost's defenders. The sound of gunfire and explosions filled the air, the battle intense and chaotic. Alex and Lena were at the heart of the defense, fighting side by side to protect the Nexus. Despite being outnumbered, their resolve never wavered. "We need to buy more time," Alex shouted, fending off an attacker. "The Nexus isn't ready yet." Dr. Voss was in the command center, coordinating the activation sequence. Her voice crackled over the intercom. "We're almost there. Just hold them off a little longer." As the battle raged on, the Shadow Collective's leader, Orion, appeared, his eyes filled with cold determination. He made his way toward the Nexus, cutting through the defenders with ruthless efficiency. "You can't stop us," Orion sneered. "The Nexus will be ours, and with it, the power to control the world." Lena stepped forward, her eyes blazing with resolve. "Not if we have anything to say about it." She and Alex engaged Orion in a brutal fight, their movements precise and coordinated. The air crackled with energy as the Nexus began to hum with power, its activation sequence nearing completion. In a final, desperate push, Alex and Lena managed to overpower Orion, securing the Nexus just as it reached full power. The artifact and the Nexus pulsed in unison, their combined energy stabilizing the Earth's fields and neutralizing the threat. The Shadow Collective's operatives faltered, their leader defeated and their objective lost. As the remaining attackers were subdued, a sense of relief and triumph washed over the outpost. "We did it," Lena said, her voice filled with awe. "The Nexus is online." Dr. Voss joined them, her expression one of pride and relief. "The Earth's energy fields are stabilizing. We've averted the catastrophe." General Harris approached, his face lined with exhaustion, but his eyes shining with gratitude. "You've done an incredible job. The world owes you a debt of gratitude." Alex shook his head, a smile playing on his lips. "This was a team effort. We couldn't have done it without everyone's dedication and courage." As the team regrouped and began the process of recovery, they knew that their mission had succeeded. The combined power of the Nexus and the artifact had ensured the stability of the Earth's energy fields, safeguarding the future. But they also knew that vigilance was necessary. The threat from those who sought to misuse the artifact's power would always remain, and they needed to be prepared. As the sun set on the day of their victory, Alex and Lena stood together, their bond stronger than ever. "We've come a long way," Alex said, his voice filled with emotion, "and we did it together." Lena smiled, her eyes reflecting the journey they had shared. Together, always. With the Nexus and the artifact secure, they turned their attention to the future. There was still much to learn and many challenges to face, but they were ready. Their hearts united in purpose, they faced the path ahead with hope and determination. The journey was far from over, but they knew that as long as they stood together, they could overcome any challenge. And so, with the world's future secured, they pressed on, their mission now one of protection and discovery. The power of the Nexus and the artifact was immense, but with their knowledge and strength, they were ready to guide their world toward a brighter future. As the dust settled and the fires of battle dimmed, a new dawn broke over the research outpost. The Nexus and the artifact, now united, pulsed gently with a steady, harmonious glow, a symbol of hope and resilience. Alex, Lena, and their team stood together, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this moment. Through their trials, they had discovered that true strength lay not just in power, but in unity, trust, and the unwavering resolve to protect their world. The wisdom of the Ancient Ones had guided them, but it was their own courage and determination that had seen them through the darkest of times. The tale of Alex and Lena reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, we have the capacity to overcome. It is a testament to the power of teamwork, the importance of safeguarding knowledge, and the necessity of vigilance in the face of ever-present threats. As you move forward in your own journey, remember the lessons learned here. Stay united, remain vigilant, and always strive to protect and preserve the world around you. Our actions today shape the future of tomorrow. If you found this story inspiring and want to delve deeper into more adventures, click on the video suggested on your screen. Together, let's continue exploring new worlds and uncovering the secrets of the universe.